So some weeks are better than others. I've already had to do a video this week about a story that got everybody's hopes up about a John Carter of Mars streaming series, which turned out to be completely false. And to continue to crush the hopes and dreams of all Edgar Rice Burroughs fans, this week we apparently are looking at the cancellation of Lord of the Jungle after only 6 issues and only telling the first part of Tarzan's origin. Before the current Lord of the Jungle series, the last officially licensed series or miniseries devoted to the character of Tarzan ended in February of 2000. Since then, all we'd had were cross-franchise crossovers that happened once in a blue moon, Tarzan grew, stuff like that, right? And so when this finally hit the store shelves in November of last year, this was the first officially licensed series or miniseries devoted to the character of Tarzan we had seen in 22 years. So for this, which is written by Dan Jurgens, the man who killed Superman, for this to end in only 6 issues is obviously not good for the brand. So why do people think that the series is canceled? So the first sign of trouble was in the synopsis for issue 6 that we got when we looked it up on like Previews World and places like that. It ended with a sentence saying that the issue was concluding the epic tale by Dan Jurgens and Benito Gallego, which at first I kind of dismissed as really bad phrasing because obviously it would not make sense for them to end the series in the middle of Tarzan's origin. However, after that, there was no solicitation for issue 7, so when I noticed that a couple months ago, I contacted Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. and Dynamite on Facebook. Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. told me to check with Dynamite. Dynamite said they had no comment at this time. So when issue 6 came out this week, it does not contain any information about an issue 7 or another miniseries to follow up on this plot line. And so I contacted Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. and Dynamite again through Facebook. Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. simply said that they haven't heard back on if Dynamite plans to continue the story, and Dynamite did not respond. I tagged Dan Jurgens and Benito Gallego in a post about issue 6 on Facebook, and Dan Jurgens said that we had a good time doing Tarzan, but any further stories are going to be up to Dynamite. So why don't we know for certain that the series is canceled? Why don't they just announce that? This is just Todd's speculation, right? But back in the day, they used to do that, right? They used to say in synopsises and previews that this was the final issue. Sometimes it'd be in all capital letters, like final issue, right? Someone even put it on the cover for this series, right? Probably thinking maybe it would help the issue sell. It's actually the opposite. Usually the sales would plummet when you declared that it was canceled, and it made those final issues sometimes notoriously more valuable because the print runs would be lower. So thinking about that in the modern context, comic companies may not want to discourage future sales they might get digitally off Comixology or in trade paperback. Also, there's almost no such thing as an ongoing series anymore. You just never know when a series is stopping, if it's really over or if it's just stopping so they can start it again with a new #1 in a few months or a year from now or whenever. Honestly, sometimes I think even the companies don't know if the series is really over or if they're going to restart it again. So what can you do about it? Well, you can support the series, obviously. It's available right now from your local comic shop, and there should be a trade paperback coming at some point. It hasn't been solicited yet, but it is industry standard to just collect your plot lines into trade paperbacks. And I would suggest reading it because it's good. I mean, it is a part of the origin, but it is a complete, satisfying plot line by itself. It will have a teaser for the second plot line, but hopefully, you know, if there's enough reaction to the series that Dynamite will decide to go and do the second plot line. You never know. So why would the series be canceled? Well, most comics, the overwhelming majority of them, would be canceled because of low sales, right? You're just not making much money or any money, maybe losing money on that title. Now, I can't find any sales information about how well the series did. The old sales charts that used to come out of monthly comics I guess they don't exist anymore unless I'm missing something. So I can't confirm how well it did or didn't do, but I can tell you I can't see any other reason, right? All the issues came out, so it's not like it was one of those series where they just couldn't get it out. The writer is willing to do the second plot line. Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. seems to be on board with it. They haven't yanked the license away or anything. And we just don't have any other circumstances that are publicly known that would cause this series to be canceled. Maybe they should have done something different to promote it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and second guess or Monday morning quarterback the people who are trying to keep the brand alive. And honestly, I'm not qualified to even do that. I don't know how to make comic books sell, right? If I knew how to promote a comic book in a way that it would sell umpteen thousand copies, I would be doing a comic book right now. I would be in the comic book industry right now writing a comic book, but I don't, so I'm not going to sit here and second guess this stuff. My critiques of the series are in my reviews, right? I thought they could have done a better job on a lot of the covers and letting us know what was going to be on the covers of the upcoming issues. And I thought that it should have been called Tarzan. And I'm sure that there were some extenuating logistical reasons why it was called Lord of the Jungle instead of Tarzan. And I doubt we'll ever know why the series was called Lord of the Jungle and not Tarzan. All I was told was that Dynamite, for some reason, didn't have the rights to do the name Tarzan on the cover, but didn't have the rights to put Lord of the Jungle on the cover. Some years ago, Dynamite did put out public domain comics of the Burroughs properties that were not authorized, and so they couldn't put the proper names of the characters on there, so they called John Carter's series Warlord of Mars, they called the Tarzan series Lord of the Jungle. However, there was a lawsuit, and that was settled in 2014, and ever since then, they have been putting out officially licensed Edgar Rice Burroughs comics, and that has given them the ability to put the names of the characters on the comics, right? We've had several series with John Carter's name on the cover, which is a trademark owned by Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. And they did a crossover with Red Sonja, where it was called Red Sonja Tarzan with Tarzan's name on the cover, which again is an officially registered trademark of Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. And so why is this called Lord of the Jungle and not Tarzan on the cover? Who knows? And I'm sure next time we'll get better covers and it will be called Tarzan, because that helps with communicating with retailers and the readers, right, to let us know that it is a Tarzan series and that it is officially licensed and a real Tarzan story. And I think a next time is inevitable. Tarzan belongs in the comic book medium. Edgar Rice Burroughs comics will be kept alive by Dynamite putting out regular Mars comics for right now. And Tarzan is still going to be in comics of some form, right? There's monthly online comics being put out on edgarriceburroughs.com that you can subscribe to. They are amazing. Those are collected in hardcovers by Dark Horse Comics, so that's another way you could read those. And there is a graphic novel that's in the works by Mike Wolfer. They'll be published by Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc., and they'll be available on Kickstarter, and you'll be able to order it from their site whenever that is put out. But obviously none of that is a substitute for officially licensed projects that are going to reach mainstream audiences, that people are going to see when they walk into their local comic shop or down the collectible aisle or log on to their eShop on their modern console or log on to their app store on their mobile device, right? Tarzan needs to be in those places if the brand is going to survive. And I think he will. I think there is a lot of money to be made in all of those places. And I think it's inevitable that Tarzan will be in those places. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I do believe we're going to get there. In the meantime, I've got plenty of other videos. I'm going to be doing a spoiler review or spoiler thoughts on Lord of the Jungle, comparing that first plot line to the novel. And I'll be doing retro reviews and all kinds of other things. We got a new Conan series coming up. I'll review that first issue. So like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time. See ya.